You can hear me now, I'm assuming, right? My audio didn't work. I wonder if my microphone is working. I'm not sure what's happening. Let's try this. Let me try switching again. Hold on. Sorry about this. Something weird happened there. I must have hit something again. Let's go to the BBQ. Is that good? There we go. Back to normal. Okay, sorry about that. Wow. Yeah, my mic didn't. It's a wireless mic, so it didn't connect. Anyway, good morning. Welcome to Coffee and Craps with Johnny over here at Pro Craps. I'm going to put the note out right now. Chris from Dice Degen, if you want to join me really quick, you can, if you're able to anyway. If you want to dial in, let's talk about the storm a little bit because we had some interesting things happen today with the storm. I'm going to jump right into that before we get into other stuff because it's fresh in my mind. We just ran, by the way, the storm strategy. So I'm doing my daily paycheck series. And of course, today, we ran the storm for the third time in a row. We showed profit. For the second time. Yesterday we showed a profit of like $60. It was a fight back to health. Today we showed a profit at the end on a good roll. Now we've got to talk about this strategy because I think this is good for everybody to see here and kind of absorb. And I got skill and luck. I know you're in the chat here. I know Jeff I think is lurking out there somewhere, and of course Chris. Degen, I know you and Greg authored the strategy. So let's talk about hybrid play. And you've gotten to see it all week, right? The way that hybrid play kind of works, which is basically treading water, right? We treaded water the first day. It was nothing but sevens the first day, right? We had that SRR of like 2.5 or whatever it was, right? I threw sevens like a banshee. Set the point. One hit, seven out. Set the point, one hit, seven out. Come out, seven. Come out. It was a seven barrage, right? Yet we survived. We lost 260 or $70, whatever it was we lost. It wasn't a lot. We lost over 80 rolls. We lost a couple $100. Was not a bad deal, right? And don't like losing the money, but the hybrids survived a really epically bad roll. Epically bad roll. Day two, yesterday, the exact opposite happened. Didn't have a lot of sevens, but I buckshotted the point and I kept knocking that don't pass down over and over and over again. And we lost money that way, right? We didn't have the 7 outs killing us. We had actually a better series of rolls killing us. People on the right side made a lot of money yesterday. We treaded water, made about $80 or whatever it was. It was something small over the course of time. That's hybrid play, right? The 7's not going to win you money. The boxes are going to win you money. You're kind of just doing this, right? And making nothing. And skill says treading water is better than losing. Now, some people would argue with you and say, no, pick a side. Win or lose, but pick a side because treading water, you're wasting your time. Now, I would say to you, today was the example of what skill is saying and why the strategy was built and why hybrid play is so popular. Because today, again, we treaded water. Now, we started out behind. Started out ugly. I had to come out 7 right out of the gate. Come out of the gate, $100 down, set a point of 5, put the odds up, hit the 5. Like within 3 seconds, we were out, 460. Like it happened so fast. Like shit. Now we're fighting. Craps is really hard to play from behind. Like when you're down $500, then your whole mindset changes, right? What happened right away with that was we caught a good roll. I caught like a 17 roller right after that. We were down all that money. The next shooter was like a 17. And I kind of sissy bet that. I did like 22 press, 22 press, 22 press, and we had like 11 box numbers hit and never got our bets up that high to make big money with them. And then the 7 came and knocked them all back down again. So we profited about $150 on a roll that was 17, right? Definitely didn't bet that aggressively enough. I made the point during the roll. I said, hey, at some point in here, you either have to pull these bets down and lock the profit or you got to go after it. Right? This kind of sissy press that we were doing wasn't helping us at all, really get anywhere. We were treading water even with our pressing on a good roller. And I think there's this point in time where you got to put your foot in the ground and say, I'm either going to regress and take it all down. And when you're down $500 to start a hand and you've won 350 in the hand, there's a part of you that might say, well, let me lock up the 360 that I won or whatever it was that we had won to make sure we get back some of our losses. Like let's lock in a little bit of a recovery and then we'll see if we can make money happen. The other part of you says, well, this is the hand. The hybrid's waiting for a 20 roller. We got a 20 roller. We should be beating that thing to death, right? Even though we lost earlier and we're in recovery mode, you wait 3.5 days it took us to get to a roll that was over 5, right? You got to play the roll and you got to hit that thing hard. We didn't hit it hard and it ended up costing us a little bit, cost me time. So I think that was a mistake in that moment, but the conversation has to be had. When you're behind and you're doing well, do you just pull down and lock in and recover your losses, or do you take the chance that this is the one roll you're going to see today that was going to be any good and go for it? We didn't go for it. We ended up in here. And then we had a couple of bad sequences. I had that 5 come out 7s in a row, whatever it was. But then I made the decision, the executive call, to say, you know what? We were under betting this thing anyway. And so I raised the bets to the right level. I think the proper level at a $5,000 bankroll for the Storm is a $200 don't and 640 across. I think you got to be at those levels at the $5,000 bankroll level to make a $500 paycheck. And so I upped the bets. We caught another roll, and I aggressively bet it. I bet the second hot shooter, I bet with tier pressure instead of a sissy press. And the tier pressure hit 3 times. Boom, boom, boom. We made back almost 2K in 15 rolls, right? Just like we're supposed to. Just like it was designed to do, made us our money back, got our profit. So the Storm got us to a stable place in the 2 rolls like it would. I chose an aggressive betting system to take that higher. The point at which you get even in the Storm or any hybrid strategy, a Skill and Luck has got a brand new unicorn that we'll show you next week. The unicorn from Skill and Luck, same thing. It takes 1 roll to get you to stability. And when you're at that stable spot, then you get to go, right? Whether you're going to sissy press it, whether you're going to hammer press it, whether you're going to tier press it, whether you're going to do whatever you're going to do, doesn't matter, right? That's tier 2. Right? Remember we talked about our 3-tier strategies, right? Get even in the hand, show a profit in the hand, go for it in the hand. That's what today was, right? We got even in the hand, right? We same betted a couple times to make sure we locked in enough money to beat that don't, which is an important milestone in a hybrid, and then you go crazy. So hybrid play has got to be get even on the box first, win enough in the box to cover your don't, and then you can go. That's what we did. And it worked really well today. Today it worked out perfectly. We caught 2 good rolls, two 20-plus rollers today, and made our money. I think we were underfunded to start, and I think that being underfunded in that strategy today is another thing to talk about with hybrids, which was, in general, which is the exposure levels. Yeah, like the exposure today, 60-something rolls, because we started at $100 don't, and effectively 160 across once we got our 2 hits in. At 160 across, where you're quote unquote even in the hand, to make $500 at the quarter level, you're going to need 15 to 20 hits to make that work. It's going to take you a long time. 10 hits is only going to be 180. Or 360, right? When you're all said and done with the profits, you need at least 15, maybe 20 hits to get to the $500 mark. It's too many hits, right? You can't look to make a paycheck when it takes you 20 hits to get there. It's too much time. So I think doubling the bets cuts that down to 7 to 9 hits, and that's about what we got on the end roll there. So I think is what you do. I think you got to look at your bet levels and say, I want to win X. How can I win X in less than 10 rolls or less? And adjust your bet size accordingly, and then grow your bankroll to what that is. Okay, that's what I think. That's what that is. So that makes sense. I hope that makes some sense. Yes, I did say sissy press, and what I mean by the sissy press is this: when I was at 160 across, effectively 110 inside, sissy press, I was doing $5 presses. I was doing like at 135 and I pressed $22. So I got each number $5 more. We had 5 hits, and in all 5 hits, we only increased our bets by a quarter, right? Which 5 hits is hard to get. By not getting them high enough in those presses, they weren't paying off enough. Even at level 5 of that sissy press, you're only getting back $70. Whereas if we had done a half press on the number that hit each time, we would have made double, maybe triple the money that we made by doing the stable across 1 unit press. And that's what I mean by that. So I think there's an argument to be made, and we'll talk about it today even. Do you press the number that hit because it's hot? Or do you press the sisters, or do you press across? Today I pressed, well, across or inside. I pressed numbers that weren't hitting, thinking that, well, we can spread it out some. The shooter was random, and let's just get money somewhere. And that was the reason for doing it that way. There's a pro and con to that, for sure. And I think we saw the con to doing it in the first good shooter, and the pro to doing the hammer press in the second shooter, where I hit a repeater 3 times. So there it is. That's my summary of this thing. I think bet leveling is important. I think knowing when to stop pressing is important. I think knowing when to kind of dig in and really say it's time to go is also important. So there's that. All right, let's jump into the regular content. And I want to talk about a couple of things with you. First of all, reminder, excuse me, my eye's itching. Friday Night Fights with Jason, by the way, Brian, and Great Craps, Leon, will be going on Friday. That's going to be cool. We talked yesterday at length about Damar Hamlin, the guy from the Buffalo Bills who had the cardiac arrest on the football field during the Monday night game. If you care about football or not, I'm going to tell the story anyway. He got hit in the chest hard, like hard hit right to the chest, stopped his heart. Okay. I've been there. I've had that exact same thing happen to me. I've seen it happen before. I talked yesterday about this idea of the heart guards. I know a couple of you coach kids. I know a couple of you have kids that are playing sports at this age. Quick diversion. I want to show you something really quick, and then we'll get back to the regular stuff. I want to make sure that we see this here. This is what I was talking about yesterday. I did a quick Amazon search for you. Look for heart guard for athletes, and it looks like this. It's like a shirt, like an Under Armour type of thing, and it's got this thing in the front. Can you see that thing in the front there? If I like zoom in, I'll zoom into this one here first. It's got this thing in the front that basically takes the impact off of your chest and sends the waves outside to your chest muscles and takes the impact off your sternum and your heart. It basically moves the pressure away. This is an okay one, the Toyor. I'm a bigger fan of the one from Evo Shield, which is here. The Evo Shield, you'll see, it goes across the whole chest like this, and it just spreads the impact around. For $45, it ain't bad, right? If you have kids in sports, get them in one of these things. If you coach sports, require that your kids wear these things. My baseball teams were required to wear these things because I've seen the injury that put that guy from the Bills out. So there you go. That's my PSA of the day. That's my public service announcement for you. And that's all I got to say about that. So I just want to make sure that we talked about it because I mentioned it yesterday, but I didn't put a link up there. That's what you search for. And just tell people that you know about that. The Evo Shield stuff is fantastic, and it's not like it's expensive, and it does the job. So get your kids, if you're coaching or if you have kids, get them in those things. I can't even, like, it would be stupid to have a $45 solution to a problem that's fatal. And the guy on the Bills essentially died on the field. You know, it was awful to watch. You can imagine the players having to watch that. So there you go. That's the thing. That's it. That's what I want to say. All right, let's move in to more fun things and talk about craps. And again, here's the numbers. I'm going to show these numbers every day this week because it's so freaking important that we know this, right? The strategy we ran today, the Storm, Skill and Lux Unicorn. Skill and Lux Unicorn requires 1 hit. Set a point, get 1 hit. The Storm requires set a point, get 2 hits. Look how hard it is, right? 22% of the time you don't get 1 hit, you get 0 hits. So know that skills strategy is going to sound great when I show it to you. It still has a 22% failure rate. Just getting a hit, right, at all to make it work. He's got a don't to hedge it, which helps, and that gives you that sort of tread water thing. But you got to know these numbers. Today we saw a couple of anomalies, actually. We saw almost no 4s today. No 4s, no 10s. They were so quiet today. It was probably below 60% of 4s that we saw today after the roll. The 10, I think, hit a couple times. The 5 today was super hot, right? We saw one roll 4 5s. We were in this 2% range over here on the 5 today. And on the 6, I think the 6 early was hot. I think we saw 7 6s on one of those rolls today, which again, you're down below 1%. I've talked to you before about volatility, and I've talked about variance, okay? Variance is where you make money in this game. You can tread water in a hybrid. You can make a daily paycheck with come betting You can make a daily paycheck with some of Waylon's strategies where you're just kind of like, just a little bit of a move up the ladder, like his 110, 100 strategy. You can make paychecks by making those low volatility, simple, repeated bets, right? To make, I'm going to say this out loud, real money, big money, the guys that are pulling $15,000, $30,000 off a table with the huge chip porn, you got to embrace variance. You got to be able to win when the 6 does hit 6 times in a row. Okay, that's where the huge money's made. We can all make paychecks and be conservative all day long with everything else that I teach. Those are great ways to play, and I play that way myself 90% of the time. However, when you're on a hot roll, when I have the dice and I'm actually rolling well, like this morning, you got to have a way in place to take advantage of a variant. So I say this, know that the 22% of the time on the 6, you get one shot to collect. Collect the first one if you can, right? Whatever number hits, collect it, because you're not going to see a second one most likely. The second hit, depending if it's a 5, 6, 8, or 9, whatever, you got about 8 to 12% chance of seeing the number repeat. So same bet. And then we move into some kind of pressing algorithm. Whatever pressing system you want to do, totally fine. Okay. But press from a position of strength. That's what I always preach. Press from strength. So get even in your hand. Get to a point where if your presses don't work, you won't lose. Okay. Some people will say that's a wimpy way to play, right? Just go after it. You're going to be behind a roll or two, right? And I get that. However, the probabilities are these, where you're not going to see more than one hit. You might not even see one hit, most likely. So embrace that. You got to let me get to the table here. Embrace the fact that you're not going to probably see a hit on most numbers. So same bet. Whatever I'm going to show you today, I think we're talking about sister pressing today, is going to be predicated on the fact that you've gotten even in the hand already. It's got to be a thing that you don't do this until you're already there. Okay. And I said this the other day with tier pressure, right? Tier pressure is a highly aggressive strategy. I don't go out of the gate, 160 across and start pressing like a maniac, right? We find a way to get to 160 for free, and then we employ something aggressive. I'll accept being 2 rolls behind. And again, I'll show you something simple that you can do to do that, okay? And again, you can use pressing or spreading, either way, to get to your goal. Now, I'll repeat a couple of simple things. Again, I don't want to get into hybrid play or whatever else, or unicorn styles. Let me just show you a quick way to get to what I'm talking about. And I'll give you 2 examples of it, okay? One will be the Casino Quest squeeze play, which we all, I think, by now know, okay? Inside play, we win $70, right? We go to the outside with 35 each. Everything on the table now pays $70, and you're out, right? When you bring everything back down to level, you're at 160 across, and it costs you $20, okay? Because what you're out here for is there's 100, there's 150, come on now. There's 175, there's 200, okay? You have $200 back in your rack. You were out there for 220 to start with. This cost you, you're at risk for $20. That's one way to get there. Okay, that's the Casino Quest squeeze play. Chris from Sideshow Gamble and I were talking last night about some alternatives and being a little bit more hyper aggressive on the first couple rolls to get you to the point where you can play a true pressing game. Okay, and what if you said, okay, well, here's $70, right? This pays $70 on the inside number. You can take the $70 and get $4 and change and press the insides by $66. Okay, so you take $4 back to your rack and you do $66 in pressure. 3, you're gonna go the $18 in the 6 and 8, make them look like $78. Okay, so they're gonna go to 78. You're gonna love this, by the way. There's 78. There's 78. Now everything in the inside pays $91. There's 91. Okay, we press by 88 inside. So do another full press to 88. You could take this 91, right, and take what you've already won and come back down. Right away, you can do that full press, take an inside hit, and look at where you're gonna be. You're gonna be at 160 across, paid for, completely paid for. This is gonna be 100. There's your 150. I'm sorry, there's 200, rather 200. And you're totally out of the hand, right? You're out there with the $4 here. You're at 223, I think, out of the hand, right? Full press and get out. Now you play press your luck. No whammies, no whammies, no whammies. Make me some money, okay? Whenever I talk pressing, remember this little bit, right? Don't ever start your full press sequence until you got good. I know Ed talked last night, and I love Ed. His strategy is super aggressive when he's got the dice. You saw him, he went from $18 on the 6 to 180 in like a couple of rolls, right? Our friend Nemo does the hyper press, right? You're gonna get paid on a 6 or 8, $35. You're gonna take it, you're gonna add money from your rack, you're gonna add a quarter and bring that to 90. Like right away, you're gonna go straight on up, right? Hyper pressing the thing out of it. That's fine. I wouldn't do it out of the gate, right? I don't like to press from my rack. I like to press from winnings. And I like to have winnings first. So to me, that 8 that pays $35, I would rather same bet that. Take the $35 to my rack. The next time the 8 hits for $35, I would consider taking that quarter and dropping that out there, right? At least you're pressing it from winnings. But if nothing else, what you're gonna do here is take another $5 back and full press it up. Now you feel like you're safe, right? Because you pulled money back. That bet is paid for with profit. That's a safer way to do this. Now, we've been talking a lot about pressing a single number. Today I want to talk about multi-pressing or sister pressing or whatever you want to call it. Let's talk about pros and cons here. So the 0.9, we had this set up here and the 8 hits for $35. What's the best move here? What's the more likely thing to happen? Okay, you can look at this from two standpoints, and I think one of them is math-based, one of them is going to be variant-based. Variant is also a mathematical principle. The most likely thing to happen is that either the 6 or the 8 hit. From a strict probability standpoint, right? There's 5 ways to roll each of these. There's 10 ways to roll a 6 or 8 versus 6 ways to roll a 7. The smart quote-unquote play is to drop a buck and bump them both by $18. Okay? Do a full, it's a power press, but get them both up either by 18 or collect the 10 and have them both go up by $12. Either way, right? Doesn't matter which way. You're increasing the power of 2 bets versus the 7. That's the mathematical way to think about this. That's why a sister press is a smart thing. And here's the other question, right? We've seen the strategy called the tower strategy, right? Let's actually pay this. I think I'll pay this in reds just so we can see it like this. There's $35 in red. If I actually take one of these, I'll do it like this. I'll pay it in 5. So there's $35. I'll drop a penny, right? And we'll make them both look like $48. Do a full sister press. And again, that's the mathematical thing to do, right? It's the mathematical thing is, hey, let's bump up the 2 numbers that are most likely to hit. So let's say the 9 hits now, right? The 9 hits for 30, and again, we'll do $35. There's 25, $35. What's the best move here? Is the best move here to press the sister, right? The 5 and 9 and the 6 and 8 are related to each other. People call them sisters because, for whatever reason, they do. I don't know. I mean, they had the same probability 5 ways. They have the same probability of 4 ways. Nothing on the dice makes them sisters. It's just they happen to have the same number of combinations. So for whatever reason, people say, well, when 9 hits, press the 9 and the 5. Well, mathematically, that makes no sense. Mathematically, what makes sense is to drop another $1 and keep pressing these 2 up because they have the highest probability of hitting. Put your money behind the strongest arrow is what you might want to be thinking. The sister press thing, do they come in groups? Possibly. There's no mathematical way to prove that. Matter of fact, there's no math that supports that those two come in groups, that they're related in any other way other than how many ways they can roll. So sister pressing might make it sound cool, might make you feel good to say, hey, press the sister for me, but there's no math behind doing that right there, none at all, okay? The better math, frankly, is this. Stack it up on the number that hit, because you're looking for, again, variance, right? You make money in variance. This is gonna say spread the money around to what I think is most likely to happen because of math, probability speaking, or embrace the fact that you may be in the middle of a variant and the 9's gonna hit a lot, right? Let's do a full press on that 9. Let's hope the 9 hits again, because for whatever reason, things do happen in clusters. Get me a cluster of 9s. The 5 has got 0 to do with that. 0. Not one bit of the 5 has a thing to do with the 9, not one bit of it. Okay? Matter of fact, numbers that make a 5, 4, 1, 3, 2, the 1 and the 2 that make a 5, you can't make a 9 with those numbers, right? The dice have nothing to do here, same thing, right? When you have a 6, 3, 9, or a 5, 4, 9, you can't make a 5 out of the 6 or the 5. There's nothing relating these two numbers at all, other than probability. So I would say, advice-wise, press what's hitting or press the higher probability things. Now, if you want to go from, we'll first press these two, then we'll press these two, I can get behind that, because you're increasing bets behind the next most likely set of numbers to hit. You're going to kind of do this. What I did this morning, and I mentioned this earlier in the show, was what I call the sissy press, which was really a press that has no basis in anything other than I have no idea what's going to happen. Like the 6 hit, I'm like, great. What I should have done is press the 6 to $60 because it was going to be inside of a variant maybe. What I did was these little itty bitty presses that really didn't help us out at all. I went from making $35 to making $42. Big freaking deal. Didn't help us all that much in the grand scheme of things, right? So spreading your money out is a pattern. But at this little bit level, it doesn't help you enough at all, right? I would say you're better off going in here first, pineapple press style. Let's get the most likely things to happen. The next most likely things, the next most likely things, right? But imagine that. Imagine you hit the 6 and the 8 and you press them up and they hit again. Let's say that the 8 hit first time, the 6 hit the second time for $42, right? And here's your $40. And you go, okay, cool, let's spread out. Let's go to the 5, let's go to the 9, let's spread the love a little bit. And then the 6 hits again. Okay, great, $42. Well, guess what happened? You missed out on a repeater by spreading out. So think about that. When you spread your presses around, you're missing out on opportunity to catch the variant, and the variant is where the money's made. So you gotta, again, I think be aware of that. That's an important piece that I think is missed. So does that mean tower your 6 and 8 up to table max and forget everything else? No, doesn't mean that at all. But it means as your first move, either stay where you got hit or stay at the highest likelihoods. Put your money where it's most likely to get paid and work from a position of power. So with that said, let's roll a little bit. Let's get a couple rolls in here, just randomly chucking, and we'll see what it looks like. We'll press the sisters here, and we'll do it in a way that that I think is kind of a cool little strategy. When I press the sisters, I like the idea of a press on the sisters, and when you come down, you actually make pretty good money. Let's grab a point, see if we can't make a this or that kind of thing hit. There's a 10. Okay, let's go. I think you can't see, it doesn't matter. The dice still matter. Let's roll it out. Let's try and get a sister press going here, and you'll see like a couple of hits on those things, and you can make some good paper. There's a midnight, which wasted roll. Johnny, wasted roll. There's a 4, right? A 3, 1, 4. That'll pay $50. Again, no VIGs. Don't worry about the VIGs. If I press them both, the 4 and the 10, right? Now I want either the 4 or 10 to hit again. So you're looking to hit one or the other, and then one or the other a second time, and we'll see how we end up. It works good on the ends. There's a 7, of course, right? Bummer. Let's take it down. We'll do a virtual reset, and we'll do it again. And again, I want you to see patterns. It doesn't matter about the bankroll right now. That was a 6-5 yo. Let's just see betting patterns. I'll let Vince go to win craps later on and run this a billion times. There's a 10. All right. Again, we're looking for one or the other to hit twice on any sister. So the 10's going to get hit. We press them both. There's a 1, 2, 3. There's a 1, 1 aces. Boy, we're gonna get the all here. There's an 8. Okay, the 8 hits. And again, hits for 35 bucks. There's 30. There's 5. I'll drop a buck from my rack virtually. Let's get them both looking like 48. Press them both up. Press both sisters up by the same amount of money. And again, one or the other hits twice until you get that. See how hard this is? Boy, craps is a hard game. Craps is a hard game. You guys notice that? Again, look at the chart that I gave you earlier, right? How unlikely it is to hit anything once, right? Hit it once, hit it once, hit it once, done, right? It's like, it just teases you. It teases you. Here we go. We're on the point of 6 now. Okay, we got a sister to press. 5, 3, 8. Let's get that. Let's get that. Again, 35 bucks. We're gonna make the 6 and the 8 both look like 36, 48. Okay. $48 and $48. Okay, one or the other of any sisters. Nope. Look at that. Another one. Welcome to craps. Welcome to my world. Wow. I guess if nothing else, you're going to learn today that it is hard to beat the dice. Okay, there it is. 6 is the point. Can I get one set of sisters to pay us today? No, I cannot. There's another 7 out. How much are we down now? You guys keeping track in chat? That's got to be 5 times we've lost 160 at least, right? This is, I guess, the why behind hybrids, right? You're going to go out here and just try, and it's going to work or it's not, right? 4, 3, 7. Another one with 0 box hits. So we've had 0 box hits, I think, 3 times. We've had 3 box hits twice. 1 box hit once. Back to the 5. Incredibly hard to make money in this game. Those numbers that I show you, the Be Afraid numbers, look at how real these things are. When I roll these dice out randomly, look at how real it is. Right? Those 17 rollers are miracles. There we go. 6, 2, 8. So again, we're going to try it. We're going to press these up to $48 of a $35 win with $1 from the rack. Okay, there's 48. Oh my God, come on, John. Okay, can I get a sister press to win? Aces. No way, no way. It's never gonna happen. 4, 4, 4, 4. There's a 4, so that's gonna pay 50 bucks. Right, again, sister press. One or the other has to hit. One or the other. Hey, we did it. We got a 6, 5, 1, 6. So here we go. We pressed them both up on hopes that one or the other would hit, right? That'll pay 56 bucks. Now 50, $56 on that win. If I bring them both back down, right? We had 60 bucks out here at play between the two guys, right? There's 50, there's our money back on the sister press. And here's 25, 30, $33. No, $32. Okay, so the one or the other hits, you get your money back plus about 1 bet level in profit. And bring them both down and do it again. Not bad, right? I've done this before too with trying to get them to hit twice at that level. That makes excellent money. Let's try it again. We're still in the 4 and 10 though, right? So now these have pressed up and went back down again. Sister-wise, there's an 11. Let's get a 4 or 10. They're much more impactful. There's a 6 again. This time we'll do it 3 levels. There's 45, 48. All right, we'll press them a second time. Now we'll go 2 hits and down on the sisters and see if we can get them to both hit, one or the other to hit twice instead of just once. Nope, there's a 7. Look at the elephant graveyard just sucking up money, right? That press never paid. The second press here never paid, right? What a bummer. Hard. It's really hard to get these things to, unless your name is Ed or Alfredo or somebody or George that can shoot. It's so hard to get the repeaters. Let's try it again. 5-9. Just press the sister, okay? 5 and 9. One or the other. And again, there's no relationship here. I told you before, there's no relationship. $35, right? We're gonna do it, put them both at 40 and say, well, let's have one of them hit twice. But again, what the relationship here is none. That press belongs here, right? It belongs here, not here. And the reason why I say that, again, the 9's what hit. The 5 has nothing to do with it. But you're gonna kind of connect those two mentally, fine. One or the other hits, you're good. Your money's better spent here or here. Get those things built up. But let's play it straight up, sisters. Here we go. Oh my God, look at me go. There it is, 1 box sitting out, just like that. $5 in profit, 155 in losses. How hard is this game? Good Lord. How hard is it to get money? There's 2 yos in a row. I should do the Wayland thing and kind of do that. There's a 6. All right, point is 6. Let's try it one more time. There we go. Look at that. Look at that. And you're gonna say, John, you suck. You're like, you and Jeremy both suck. You're both bad rollers. Well, guess what? The dice do what they do. The 7's pretty easy to roll, it turns out, right? You're always halfway there. There's an immediate point. That's good. Finally, right? So again, $35. We'll go 15 here, 15 here, and we'll take 5 and hold on to it. Is it 8? There's a midnight. Yeah, the 7s are easy to roll. No matter what this die is, this die here has the match. You know, no other number can say that. You're always one turn of the die away from disaster. 516. All right, let's go ahead and make it look like 48 each. Press them both up. Let's go one or the other, please. 6, we did it. Now this time, let's do it. Let's do the double. Okay, we're gonna get $56, 55, $56 for that. Let's double them both up. Okay, let's take them both up. I think we can get them both up to. There's 50. We can get them both to 72. I think. 70. We can get them both to 70. Yeah, 72 is enough. Yeah. Yep, that's as high as we can get, $72. Wait, now we can go to 78. We can do it. 70. No, I can't. There's not enough money there to press in the high. We'll get a 78 at least, though, or 72 at least. That's good enough. Can one or the other of them hit twice? Look at that. We did it. We got 538. So there's a case where you got 1, 1, 1, and you pressed the sister and got 2 hits out of the group. That's pretty cool, right? So again, 60 pays 70, 12 pays 14, $84, right? 75, we'll do 85, 85 for 1. These can come back down to 30, like so. Look at that. It's a pretty good little win right there, actually, right? There's 125, 150, 198. Off of a couple of hits, right? If you can ping pong back and forth, that's great. They can hit twice. Pretty good little deal right there. Hard to do, right? But if I'm going to press the sisters, that's kind of the approach I want to take, is to get one or the other to hit a couple of times and make my move that way, rather than just, full press here or spread the love all the way around like that. It's just too hard to get the hits. So anyway, that's a quick example of sister pressing, and like the ways that I would approach it. I would say one or the other hits once or twice, back down again like that. Or you can take these sisters, it doesn't matter, and press into here, and then from here go outside. I think the sissy press I did, pressing across like that, it's fine, but you got to be at a level that's impactful. I think a $6 bet is not impactful enough, and that's why we lost this morning. So let's go on back. Come on back over here. Let me turn the light off too so you can see without the blue glow. All right, that's off. All right, back here we go. So what did we just see? Did we just see this happen in real time? Did we just see that happen in real time? Like, how many times just now that I get 0 hits? Was it about 20% of the time that I had 0 hits just now? It was more than 20% actually. How many times did I get 1 hit, one sister to go, and then nothing else happened? Right, probably more than 14%. This chart here just played out in front of you, but a little bit worse. It's kind of true, right? So tough deal. Let's look at the chats here and see if there's anything that I missed that you want me to talk about, and then we'll get our workday started. So let's see. You're right. Words matter, right? You got to be safe. And what I say is that when I say safe and be scared of the math is this. You got to embrace, Jen, this chart that's here, right? When I say that, you got to get even first, right? So when I say play it safe, be scared of the numbers, get even. So out in the garage today, we took our 2 hits on the box, right? And then reduced all the way down. So our box hits were paid for. They were out there free with $5 in profit. We went from 270 to 135, and we had $5 in profit. So at that point, you've beat the math. You've beat the Be Afraid chart. You've gotten your 2 hits. You've defied all the odds. You have $5 in profit. Okay. Your choice is pull the whole thing back. Never play again. Just take your bets off the table. Choice number 2 is to say, well, now that I'm safe, now I can press and try and make money on the roll. When I say sissy press, $5 on each bet doesn't get you anywhere. It's such a tiny amount that even 6 rolls later, those bets weren't producing any actual profit. They were producing some like tiny bits of profit, right? Versus going all in on the number that's happening and being aggressive on the number tactically, right? That's why I say you're sissy pressing, you're doing such a little tiny amount, you're just not getting where you got to be. And that's why I use that word, because at the $22 level inside, you're just not getting anywhere. Later, when we were at 110 inside and I pressed by 110, by 110, by 110, that's more of a hammer job on the inside. But again, you're making more money to do that. I hope that makes some sense. So that I think it's important to look at from the point at which you start pressing. Okay. Let's see. Yeah, you're here, and I think so is JR saying the same thing about pressing the numbers that aren't hitting doesn't make a whole lot of sense unless you're just playing the probability game. And that sissy press I did, it's the probability game. I'm just spreading the money out because I have no idea what's going to happen. There's no rhythm yet. There's no variant created yet. So we put it everywhere and hope that something happens, right? That's that, please God, let me win kind of a thing. So, yeah, let's see. And you say, Skill, we don't know. It doesn't mean they're going to continue to hit. You're right. We don't know that's going to happen. And that's why I say, like, if you're not sure of where to press, yeah, I think you have 2 options, right? If you're not sure where to put your money, well, actually you have 3 options, right? If you're not sure, keep it, right? I mean, if you don't know where to put it, keep it in your rack. You're always going to be safe doing that. Option 2 is press on what just happened, because again, you're hoping for what's called a variant, that you see a bunch of those numbers to happen again. That's a wing and a prayer. The other option is to press from inside out. The most likely thing to happen is the 6s and 8s happen, because the highest likelihood that those numbers roll before other numbers, right? So you're either looking for a variant, a pure math play, or a pure safety play. Those are your 3 real options there. And that's why I think you got to see all 3 as an option. right? You got to mentally say, there's no requirement that you press. There's no law that says you have to bet like Ed and go to the table max. There's no law that says you have to same bet and be completely out of danger. And there's no law that says you should press halfway. You got to press to your comfort level and what you see happening. So that's it. Yeah, Vince, you will run it a million times, I know. I love Vince, by the way you do that. But I also think this one here, I want to see the options of 6 or 8 hits once, or 6 or 8 hits twice. So one of them hit, press them both, bring them both down on the second hit. I like the option where you, one or the other hit, you press them both, one or the other hit, press them both again. The third hit of either of them, come all the way back down. That's a good, powerful way to press. If you can get 3 total hits of 2 common numbers, that's kind of a cool way to do it. So there you go. Brian says, one thing I've taught you is to regress on phase 1 if you don't get a box hit. On 2 box hits, go for 2 or 3 and regress. You know what? The garage thing shows that, right? You get those 2 hits, you regress as you go, get 2 or 3, restart the whole process. That's a great way to do it. Like, get your 2 or 3 hits, lock in $100 or so, go back down to 160 or whatever the base bet was, and just shoot it from there. But shoot it from safety. You got to shoot from safety. And I think that's an important thing. So let's see any other questions that we've got. Skill says, I thought the squeeze play was wrong. Press the inside, then go across, same as the squeeze. You're in profit. Yeah, the original squeeze play, you're not in profit. You're a little bit under. Theirs just takes 2 hits. I showed you the second way, right? I showed you the press the inside first, right? If you get a second inside hit, you're already pressed up. You're out in profit instead of out below 20. The idea of the squeeze play is that you increase your spread, right, versus increasing your exposure. So you pick up 2 numbers instead of just pressing on the inside. The inside pressing is better, I think, because you can profit and get out. So yeah, squeeze play with 110 inside or a ladder is good. Ladders are tough. You got to have money. You got to have the money there for sure to do that. But the squeeze play at 110 works. 110, grab the outsides for $15 each, and then you're back playing again at 64 across for free. So that's a good play for a normal sized budget. All right, I think that's everything. All the questions and PCs that I see in the chat. It is 9 o'clock, which means it's time to roll. Hyperpress Nemo. Single unit, semi-press, full press, power press, hyper press. Those are your levels, right? I think, again, the single unit press on a number, what I call up and pull, we saw that. Pretty powerful way to go. It's underrated as far as betting strategies go, because, again, as you get into the deeper part of the roll, hit 4, 5, 6, it loses its strength, but in rolls 1, 2, and 3, it's actually the better way to go. You get later into the rolls and that starts hurting you. That's when you start doing, I wouldn't hyperpress Nemo until I got to profit. Instead of hyperpressing out of the gate, you're putting your core bankroll at risk too early, I think. That's my opinion though. All right, guys, that's it. 9 o'clock, good show. Tomorrow again, let's get that storm working at a higher level. I'm going to start it off at 200 tomorrow on the don't, and we'll work it out that way. And we'll see if we can't make profit quicker. Let me get out of the gate tomorrow ahead, not behind. That's all I want. So that said, y'all have a great Wednesday, and I'll see you for practice later. I'll see you out in the garage in the morning, and I may join if Jeff's going to do a live today. I have some clarity in my schedule. I may jump in and play some Crapsy with Jeff's group. So hopefully I'll see you out there for that. Y'all have a good one, and that's it. God bless, and I'll see you tomorrow. Bye.